Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be working more on the Farmall H here. So what I gotta do is I gotta fix the brake pedal, and I also might do some ignition timing on it and whatnot. And just try and fix any other problems we have along the way, like maybe the throttle. I also do have a shifter repair kit for this as well. I have a bolt right now holding the shifter in, and you know whenever you take those shifters out, you always just destroy the plugs. So maybe we'll use this as well to fix it. So the problem I'm running into here is instead of taking this pulley off in order to get this brake pedal back up, I'm just going to take this pedal off and slide it back on, but I can't do that because the cotter pin for this right here is completely seized, and I can't get it out for the life of me. So I have my air chisel, and I'm just going to try and hit it and see if I can get it to pop out. Alright, got the A10 Warthog here. This is either going to destroy the cotter pin or all the metal around it, but either way it's coming out. Alrighty. I just turned this down on the handheld lathe, also known as a bench grinder. Now I think we're going to be cooking. There we go. Oh, I hate it when that happens. We're just gonna send it anyways. Whew. Ain't that a sigh of relief? I have no idea why I thought this was a cotter pin. Probably because I tried taking this out ages ago and gave up. And now, I can pop this John off and do what we came here to do. Yep, that is literally all I need to do. I think before we do that though, I'm going to clean the shaft up just a little bit and put some grease on there. Surprised there's no Zerks on here. I thought there'd be a Zerk on here. There's one on my 504, but oh well. And until I get the proper pin, we'll just use a cotter pin. Now before I can attach this, this whole assembly is still partially disconnected. And the reason why is because I'm an idiot. When I first took this platform off a couple months ago, I thought I needed to disconnect the brake drum, for lack of better words, covers. And it turns out I didn't need to do that. Alrighty, 9/16. And in fact, I put this thing together so well, I even have an extra bolt left over. So I guess I'm just better than the engineers that designed this thing. Alrighty. Next up here, we'll put the pin in for the actual brake. There we go. Man, that took way longer than I had to. And lastly, the brake tensioner breaker. I don't know which goes to which. I assume it goes like this. Yeah, like that. That makes sense. there we have it. I think that'll be all for today, and we'll pick this back up tomorrow. Hey guys, it's the next day, and there's another change I want to make to this Farmall using this H over here. Now, I know, it might not be period correct, but I want this metal shift knob on the other tractor just because this one's tighter and actually has a shift knob. I apologize, you guys are sideways for this shot. I don't got my tripod with me, how tragic. We're doing this the old school way. So this H right here, I've decided it's just destined to kind of be in the beater tractor. Really not going to give it too much attention, just going to use it as is. It's a little rough, but that's okay, and that's part of its charm. But now that we got this shifter, we can use this in the good H. Oh yeah, yummy, look at that. We never even have given this H the attention it deserves. It probably also needs a flush and whatnot for the transmission, but we're not going to do that. Oh yeah, and then here's just a random bolt I guess I used. Or was this the previous owner? Whatever, it's going back. I got the shifter out of this H now too. Now comparing tips. Oh, interesting. I'll say that this one's actually more warm, but I still want something with a shift knob. Plus this one's just a little bit bent. Already got the shift repair kit right here from Bates Corp. It's just a little box and it has the pin and a couple other little goodies in there. And also has the block off plugs on the end. I will not be installing the block off plugs just because I don't know if I'm actually going to be taking this platform off sooner or later or not. Eventually I will, but for now, you know, those block off plugs are pretty much a single use thing. I don't want to put them on there until I'm pretty confident I'm not going to take this platform off. So here it is right here, just simply the little rod, the part in which the rod sits in, and the plugs. All right. And then this I want to put back too, because I think this is one of the reasons I have a gear leak. A gear oil leak. Do you have to figure out how to take this guy out? I think you just kind of pull down on that and press. Oh yeah, she's pretty gummed up in there. Very high tech here at Dirt and Pavement with our tools. I think this is a job for a bench vise. There we go. Oh yeah, perfect. And there we have it. Let's compare that to the new one here. There's our plugs. Save those for a later time. Now I wonder if this is the original one. Probably. These metal tip shift knobs, these are wartime tractor shifters, so I'm assuming 1942 to 45, maybe 41. I don't know. We went into that December 8th, so I don't think they had metal shift knobs yet, but maybe I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments below. But if we're looking at this here just visually, yeah, one hole's a lot more wallard than the other. Let's see if this pin goes in here. Goes in there with a lot of wiggling. Now let's see how it goes into this one. A lot less wiggling. Awesome. All right, next up, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the shifter a little bit and put her back on in the tractor. I don't know where my wire brush went, so I'm just using a bolt to kind of clean up the grime in there. That grime's actually functional. It helps keep the shifter tighter, but I just can't bring myself to not clean it up a little bit. It's kind of gross and icky. And should be good enough. See how this guy drops in there. Nice tight fit, but not super loose. I'll make sure to keep these guys sitting around too, because you never know when you're going to need those. They're still good, just not perfect. I opted to throw a little bit of grease on there too. Not that I'll probably need it. I'll probably get enough gear oil splashing on it, but I thought, well, here right now I might as well only take a moment to do so. Oh, come on. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I'll say it's definitely a little tighter. Not perfect, but definitely not terrible. Now this right here was one of the bolts that actually holds down the, oh, what do you call it? Oh boy. Well, that's a burden. This is one of the bolts that holds down the PTO pulley belt pulley thingamabobber, and I use that as a temporary shifter holder, and it looks like I couldn't have picked a worse bolt, so guess I'm having to unbolt the gas tank quick here. Come on. There we go. There we go. Well, there we have it. Next up, what I'm going to do on this is I'm actually going to time this next, and it's really interesting how you time these. But before we time it, got to let her warm up. I thought I flipped that switch. Now the way you're supposed to time these is you're supposed to set it to top dead center and then twist the distributor until the point's open and you get a spark, and I'll show you exactly how that works. Now the way these set, I'm not really 100% sure. I know we're going to set this and it's going to spark, and that means it's set where it should be factory, but I don't know if that is like 22 degrees before top dead center or right at 0 degrees before top dead center. So if you guys know, please drop in the comments below, just because I kind of like to know what I'm doing. Oh, anyways, so here is this wire right here that comes off of the, oh, I'm taking off the wrong one, my bad. Right here I take you off. Pretty much all we're gonna do is set this guy roughly 1/4 of an inch to this screw on the side, and this is of course the positive terminal to the points. So when these points want to make sparkage, we're gonna see an arc jump when it grounds out. And that is where we know we're at top dead center. So as soon as you turn this and all of a sudden it goes, then you know you're at top dead center. Now getting this to balance just right can be kind of a chore. So I just kind of tuck that wire underneath the distributor cap retaining clip-a-lator there, and Bob's your uncle. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn power on to the ignition coil, or you know, just turn on ignition. Then all we're going to do is twist this until it sparks. There we go. You see that right there. Right there. So that's where it's most happy. Now, ignition timing, I hear, isn't as important on these older tractors. And I suppose that makes sense, because with the lower compression engines, there's really not as much air there you need to really worry about burning up as much of, if that makes sense. You know, you don't have to fire the cylinder off as soon to get a proper combustion, because, well, there's not a lot of air there to begin with. But I don't know, that's kind of my primitive understanding of it. It's really interesting. If you guys can touch up more of that in the comments below, and I'm not fishing for comments. Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. It helps with the algorithm, but I actually seem like I always learn something new from you guys every video. So if you guys want to go more into the in-depth nitty-gritty of the science of ignition timing, please drop in the comments below. But yeah, that's kind of my theory. Is it doesn't really matter too much, because there's just not a lot of air going in there. It's a lower compression engine. It's just the conditions in there aren't as extreme as it is in my, you know, 12-to-1 compression ratio track car. I think this thing has like a 4 or 7-to-1 compression ratio. It's the cylinder head, so I know it's the higher compression flavor, but I don't know. Look like flat top pistons, they're not super craters. I'm just gonna stop acting like I'm smart and just turn it on and see if it runs better. While we're on such a good roll here, here's the next thing I want to address. Why is low idle not really low idle? That bothers me. Interesting. So I gotta hold this up for it to rev down. The linkage definitely seems a little loose here, but not horrible. Huh. Well, here I go. Taking this hood off again. Alrighty. So going up means lower throttle. Going down means higher throttle. So I just need to bring this up more, I think. Alright, I just filed my taxes, and I actually just got the return in the mail today. So that's how long this took to do. Alright, jokes aside, did that help at all? I guess let's find out. I'm no engineer. Well, I was for a semester and I dropped out because I couldn't pass calculus. But that's a little loose there. And I'd reckon that ain't supposed to be loose. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a washer or two behind that. And that might tighten up this linkage just a little bit. I think I was spinning this the wrong direction for the past few minutes. I think if I actually turn towards the operator station, that'll lower the idle more. Because the way this works is this block here essentially is what hooks this guy up to the governor down there. And if I can push this block up more against this spring, the lower I can get it to idle. And I think that is exactly what I want. So I'm just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until I can't get this to idle anymore. Because what you want to do is you want to be able to drop your idle down all the way where you could kill the tractor like that if you want. Well, I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but that's how I like it. And then we'll actually set our idle with the idle screw by the side of the carburetor there. Alrighty, let's give her a test fire now. I have it on the bottom tooth. Exactly where I like it. It's like there's just too much slop in the linkage for it to actually want to drop it. So I have to open and close it to kind of beat it into submission. Now I don't know if that's just inevitable because, well, this is just worn because this tractor was built in 1947, but no, 46. I don't know. I'll keep tightening this down a little bit more and hope it helps, but regardless, you can't get it to drop pretty much all the way down if I just kind of keep beating the throttle down, and if that's gonna be what it is, that's good enough for me. perfect, but it's a lot better than it was before, so we'll work with that. Otherwise, what I was going to do is I was actually going to set up a return spring just temporarily for the governor, but that'll be good enough for now. So next thing I want to fix here is this sawtooth throttle. I know there's a million ways to fix it. What I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to try and stack a couple washers underneath that spring to try and give it more tension. If you really can give it any more tension. It already looks like it's pretty much at full tension, and see if that'll help with this hopping and skipping, because honestly those gears don't look all that bad. The tooth itself is a little worn, but I think we can bring it around. I hope. Well, that's not going to work. All right, well, plan B. And that was just kind of bend this up a little bit. Come on, sweetheart. Think we might be onto something. I mean, it'll still kind of scatter if you let it, but I think now if you kind of get it locked in for the most part, it makes a difference. But I guess we'll see. Flip her on. So well, I flipped the tooth around and that seemed to help a little, but I wouldn't trust that in a bouncy field. But hey, at least we can get it to idle down pretty good, so that's awesome. Yeah, I think if I don't have that fixed by the time we plow, probably will just have to bring a vice grip with me. Well, there's one more thing to fix here before we run out of daylight, and that's this. You fought me tooth and nail. And I think that's all she wrote for today. There we have it, guys. There's a little update there on the Farmall H. We got the new shifter in. We fixed the kit on that, the little shifter kit. We got fixed the intake there. We sort of fixed the throttle. And we also did the ignition timing on it. So I'd say she's pretty much ready for war. It's just the throttle, it's kind of meh. I'm happy that we got it to throttle down now, which is nice, but when you're running equipment like a baler or a plow, you want to throttle it up and not have it fall flat on its face. So that's something I'm still going to try and figure out. Or maybe I should just pony up and get a friction throttle. I don't think any amount of welding is really going to fix that. Maybe a tougher spring there. I don't know. So it's kind of a bear, but there could be worse problems. Stay tuned though, because there's one more thing I want to test in the barn here before I end this video. Let's see how she does a little bit of line dancing. Never got rid of narrow fronts. They're awesome. Or no, I don't know why they did get rid of narrow fronts. They're awesome. Also, you're gonna have to take my word on it, but I think this thing's charging again. It's not keeping it at 12 volts, but still, that's pretty sweet. Turn it off, flip it back on, bump it. That's one less thing I have to worry about now. This thing's ready for the field, minus that stinking throttle. And the thing I wanted to test was this light here. I honestly doubt it works. I don't even know if it's rated for 12 volts or not. But it came off a tractor that was converted to 12 volts, so one can only hope. Don't touch each other there. All right. I think this light is just grounded straight through the frame here. Could be wrong. Is there 2 wires going through here? No, there's only one. Alrighty. So yeah, I think it just grounds straight to the frame. So I'll just take that off and see if we get any light. Bulb shot. It was worth a shot. Well, I've tried a few bulbs. This guy's for sure bad. This guy actually does work, but it's pretty dim. And this guy is like a dual filament. But both of them get power at the same time when I press it in here. So, the problem with this one is it doesn't want to seat in there because the tabs are offset differently. So I'm just going to grind one of these tabs off and put it around in there and I'll show you how it works. Alright, I just grounded one of these off. Now it should fit right on in there. Just pull this back with my finger. Push it in, turn. Now we should be golden. It's a little crock-eyed, but I mean it's free, so I can't really complain. And here's a random battery I have sitting around. It's pretty dead. There's a little bit of a spark between it when I do that, but not a lot. Alright, let's try it out. Sweet. Awesome. Well, now the snowplow H will have a light, so that's pretty sweet. High beam and low beam. That'll do. That'll do.